talk to you about the work you're doing, to guide.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Apprenticeship Hour with Anisa and my co-host Fajr. We have a special guest with us today from qaaf Aid. This show is all about finding out what are the barriers BME employers are facing in accessing apprenticeships. So we were discussing just before the break about what our employer here, what problems he's facing as in accessing information around apprenticeships. And just for those that are listening to us, if you'd like to call in, you can call in on 0161 839 7857 or on 0161 408 7866. If you want to know more information about apprenticeships, you need to log on to www.apprenticeships.org.uk. They have a designated section for employers as well as would-be apprentices. You can find out all the information you need to know. There's FAQs as well on there for popular questions that people do ask. So if you log on to the website, you'll be able to get all the information you need, and hopefully that will be helpful. So I'll pass it on back to Fajr.
And just another point to make. I know you, Pasha, you just you made a comment about, you know, if there was a service available where you could go and say, you know, this is what I need in my charity. So on National Apprenticeship Service website, you can actually advertise for vacancies, just the way you would normally advertise for a vacancy, but you just, you know, it's for an apprentice. So let's say you use a lot of fundraisers, you can go online there and you can apply for advertise for a fundraiser or a marketing person or whatever your company needs as well. So it's a very good website. Do have a look when you get a minute.
I will do, definitely.
Just going back to the questions. Now that we've had a bit of discussion and we've talked about apprenticeships, could you see the benefits of taking on apprentices at all?
Oh yeah, definitely. I definitely see the benefit of taking on apprentices, and training them further and making them integral to an organisation. I definitely see the benefit of that. But it's about people like me. Where do we get that information from? I think that's really important. So, you know, how do organisations realise that apprenticeships are the way forward, especially if we're bringing in staff that are going to be, very well trained, go through a development program themselves and become part of that organisation. I think that's a very, very important thing.
Do you think there's a negative perception out there around apprenticeships at all? Because this is, some people we've spoken to, young people we've spoken to, so it just seems like that everybody thinks that, you know, if you're a graduate, then, you know, you were a very intelligent person who's, you know, stuck to the traditional route of going in, you know, school, college, and then university. But if you've left school and you become an apprentice instead, then maybe you're not as intelligent or committed or enthusiastic as...
Yeah, I mean, what you've got here is a classic case of how people stereotype young people.
Yeah.
And they stereotype young people by way of whether they are successful or not, as to whether they've been to university or not. I know a lot of people that haven't been to university that are just as successful, in fact more successful than friends of mine that have been to university. So that
more successful than you.
More so, yes, even that's Okay. But yes, I've seen many people that are extremely successful. But again, it's about the stereotype people have about young people who are apprentices, and we need to do a lot more as employers to tackle that. It's about enthusiasm, you know. I was at a college yesterday. I was at Oldham College yesterday, where I was talking to young people about our charity and about our work. And we were talking to young people who, forgive me, I can't remember the exact cohort in terms of what they were in college for, but they were certainly not individuals that were going to be going down the route of university. That's what I was told by the college. And I had a group of about 50 young people that fitted that category that college had there. And these young people were so enthusiastic. Speaking to a room full of 50 young people, all enthusiastic, all of them I was told we're not going to be going into university, but I would employ any one of them.
And reason for what's their reason of not going to university?
The college had stated. Well, I don't think that their qualifications or their academic background was of the caliber that would allow them to go into university. I don't know the detail of it, but that's what I was told. So and these individuals, I would employ any one of them, and I really do mean that, because their level of understanding of the based on the questions they were asking me, and this because I did a presentation about our charity and what our charity does, and then it was a question answer session, and I think for the first time ever in my life, I had a room full of 50 young people, or 50 people anyway, and each one of them wanted to ask a question. That is a big deal.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we've got an apprenticeship ambassador within this project who's experienced issues at the school, for example. So where they wanted to go on to learning further, and the course they wanted to go on to, they were not being offered that course because school just simply didn't think that they will pass that course.
Yes.
So they were basically left to do nothing. So they are neat now because then they're not in school, they're not in education or training or anything at all, and hence I think we're really glad that we've managed to engage with her on this project. So she's doing something. But do you not think that schools and colleges are, maybe possibly, stereotyping young people?
I think there are some young people that definitely fall out the net, and are individuals that are considered that these are no hopers. They're not going to get their educational attainment. And therefore they're not going to be successful. And I think this is also something that we need to be, as employers, we need to be a bit more smarter about as well. That there is a whole pool of talent out there. There's different ways of getting this talent to work for your organization. But the thing is, we also need to remove the shackles in our minds of thinking that if you're a graduate, you will only fit that criteria. Because trust me, in places like Gambia where we work, on the ground, it's not your academic background that's going to get you through. It's your personal skills, working with people, working with community leaders over there, working with, textbooks don't teach you that. And I think apprenticeships would be a practical way of getting young people to get involved in this sort of area.
But like you just mentioned about those students that don't have the qualifications to get to university, but then again it's the lack of knowledge, because they can actually do a higher apprenticeship qualification, which is equivalent to a level 4, which is actually a foundation degree. So people lack the knowledge of actually they can even take an apprenticeship qualification, and that is equivalent to a foundation degree. So the apprenticeships are up until that level as well.
And again, this is the thing, getting employers to know that and understand that, I think is equally important. There's a lot of work to be done in the world of apprenticeship. That's what's coming clear to me. So all that, and there's no easy route either. We need to change the way we think about young people. We need to change the way we think about apprenticeships, and we need to be educated as employers. But equally, I think they need to be supported. Employers need to be supported.
Just coming back to the same question that we've discussed briefly before as well, that why do you think there's a low take-up of apprenticeships in the South Asian community?
I think South Asian community, as I said earlier on, they rely very much on family and kin to be able to help them in their business objectives. Sometimes they take on very poorly paid staff, actually, very poorly paid staff with very. And I'm not saying this is exclusive to all businesses or all South Asian businesses, not at all, but in many experiences I've had, BME or South Asian businesses do actually take employees that are either family or extended family or people that people know. And I think
That's the network they rely on.
Yeah, the network that they rely on, and that needs to be challenged. And it could be, you know, the braver businesses that expand much more are those that say, okay, well, let's go widen the pool.
Okay.
Sorry. What would be the first thing you asked if you wanted to recruit an apprentice? Like, what would be the first thing that you would consider as the kind of most important thing you need to know?
For me, I'd ask somebody what is their ambition, what's their future ambition. That's for me the question that I would start with, and that would tell me a lot about somebody.
Okay, brilliant. Well, thank you very much for coming, and you look super tired, so thank you. After work, you've taken time out for us, so we really, really appreciate that. And we're gonna have a recording of this, so you could have the recording if you like later, if you want to hear yourself back.
I'll
hear my tired voice. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So once again, thanks a lot for your time to come on the show. And for those that are listening, just to repeat the helpline numbers again for any employers that are wishing to recruit an apprentice, you can log on to www.apprenticeships.org.uk. They have a designated section for employers, and you can get all the information you need. Otherwise, they do have a helpline number, which is 08000 150 600. And we've come towards the end of the show, and good afternoon, have a good evening from Anisa
and Fajr.